Guys, last time we did this in a video versus the Eagles, we beat them earlier this season. So like the video if you want to beat the Eagles. And I also want to gauge, do you want to win or do you want to tank? Because a lot of you have been talking about that in the comment. Hold on. I'm getting a phone call here. It's from Santa Claus. What does old Nick got to say? What's going on, Mr. Claus? What do I want for Christmas? The only thing I want for Christmas is to beat the damn Philadelphia Eagles. I hate the Eagles, and a team that celebrates a broken bell in their city does not deserve to win football games. So please, Mr. Claus, all I want to do is beat the Eagles. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Claus. I got a video. Let's ride. Let's get to it. What's going on, guys? I'm your host, Marshall Green, and you are watching New York Giants Now. And we're about to get into a mailbag video where I answer your questions. So look, if your question didn't get on the show, hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_ and send me a DM, and I guarantee you every DM I get will be featured on the next mailbag. And you also got to be a subscriber because we want to reward everybody that's hit that big red button. So shout out to all of you guys. We just crossed 3.6 thousand subs. Thank you to everyone that's hit that big red button. This first one coming in from my guy. I'm going to be honest, I still don't know how to say your name. I need you to tell me. Svi Mizrahi, I probably butchered that. I feel terrible. But you asked this question. I thought it was a good one. What is the thoughts on Kenny Pickett? He's starting to grab my attention. I do like what I've seen from Kenny Pickett so far this past season in college football. I think he's a good player, and he's probably going to be the first quarterback taken in the 2022 NFL Draft. He's risen up draft rankings this year. He was not projected to be the #1 quarterback, and he offers a lot of accuracy, vision, and decision-making. He's really smart with the football. He doesn't have the strongest arm, and he's somewhat limited in terms of mobility, besides the fact that we all remember the fake slide, which I absolutely hated. But look, he completes 67% of his passes. He's almost thrown for 4.5 thousand yards. He's thrown for 42 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. I think Kenny Pickett might be a solid pro. But I'm still in on Daniel Jones. I don't think the evaluation of Daniel Jones is over due to the offensive line and the surrounding pieces in this offense. So I'm not ready to draft a quarterback in the first round because I want to roll one more year with Daniel Jones. But what say you? Should the Giants draft Kenny Pickett? Remember, you're going to have to spend one of those first 2 first-round picks in the NFL draft on him. So keep that in mind when you answer this. Should the Giants draft Kenny Pickett? Type Y for yes or type N for no. This next one coming from King Wolf. Who do you think will replace Dave Gettleman? Yes, I officially now 100% believe, following the Ian Rappaport reports a couple of weeks ago, that Dave Gettleman is going to be out. Now they're saying he's going to be retired. And if you're a subscriber, we already put a video out about this. So look, if you're watching this video and you haven't seen this video with this thumbnail on it, go to the channel, click this video. This is the biggest video we have in channel history here at Giants Now. So go and watch it, and you'll look at the 5 replacements that I pulled out on that video, and hit that big red button so you never miss another Giants video. But Ed Dodds, he is my #1 candidate to replace Dave Gettleman. Right now, he is the assistant GM for the Indianapolis Colts, and I really like what he's done in that organization to get the Colts in a spot to be one of the best teams in the AFC. He's been instrumental in helping Chris Ballard build the Colts roster. He was a scout and senior personnel executive with Seattle from 2007 to 2016, and he has been a big part in the Colts war room and getting that team right and building through the NFL draft, and he has helped build that offensive line into one of the best units in the NFL. And that's what I want him to do when he comes and be the general manager of the New York Giants. Actually fix the offensive line. Don't just talk about it in your introductory press conference and then 4 years get fired and have the offensive line in a worse spot than it was when you came over. I'm talking to you, Dave Gettleman. So yes, Ed Dodds, he is my #1 candidate to replace Dave Gettleman because I love what he does in the NFL draft. He has experience as an NFL scout. He hit big on some draft picks with the Seattle Seahawks, and he knows how to build an offensive line. But who's your dream candidate? Who should replace Dave Gettleman? Get in the comments and let me know. I want to hear everybody's answer. This next one coming from Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, I like it. Pretty creative. Should the Giants pick up Daniel Jones' 5th-year option? Yes, the Giants will have to decide after this season. You have to pick up the 5th-year option prior to the player's 4th year, and that's what Daniel Jones is entering. He's entering his 4th year. And I want to kind of give you some information before I tell you how I feel about it. Daniel Jones' 5th-year option is worth $21 $21.3 million. That's a lot of money. I mean, the 2021 QB franchise tag is $25.1 million. So, not far off. And Daniel Jones, I'm going to be honest, he's not worthy of being paid $21 or $25 million. No doubt about it. I right now would not pick up the fifth-year option for Daniel Jones. And that doesn't mean I'm out on him. Just 10 TDs this year, 7 interceptions, coming off a neck injury that people are worried that it might be long-term. The Giants are saying it's not. But I'm not out on Daniel Jones. I would decline his fifth-year option, let him play out his fourth year. If he plays well, then you franchise tag him if you're not able to come to an agreement on a long-term deal. And that's how you play it out, in my opinion. Give him one more year. Take 2 offensive linemen with the first 3 picks in the 2022 NFL Draft. Protect Daniel Jones. Invest in your investment. Give him one more year. If he shits the bed, then move on and draft a quarterback in the 2023 NFL Draft. But I would decline his fifth-year option, let him play out the fourth year, and then decide if I can get a long-term deal done or franchise tag him. But get your votes in. What should the Giants do with DJ's fifth-year option? $21.3 million. It is very expensive, and he, quite frankly, hasn't earned that type of cheddar. But get your votes in. Type P for pickup or type D for decline. This next one coming from Elijah. Will Saquon be better next year? Will he even be back on the team? I hope he's still with the team and back to his old self in 2022. How about you? I 100% agree. I love Saquon Barkley. I want him to work. For this team to reach its maximum capability, if they're going to pay Saquon Barkley the $7.2 million they owe him next year, they need him to be great. They need him to return to the form he showed in his rookie year. But you have to acknowledge the fact, trading Saquon Barkley saves the Giants $7.2 million in cap space, and it has a dead cap hit of 0. That's something the Giants will talk about with their new general manager, and I think it's fair because what we have seen from Saquon in 2021 has not been good, and it's honestly been kind of sad to see him play football this year because he's not even a fraction of the player he used to be. 115 carries, 430 yards, 3.7 yards per tote, and just 2 touchdowns. These stats you now see on screen, these are very troubling for me. These show more about who Saquon Barkley is compared to what you just saw. I'll break it down for you. He has 3 rushes this year of over 20-plus yards. For Saquon Barkley, that's a career low. He has broken just 3 tackles this year. 3 tackles, Saquon Barkley. He is a running back that is built off of breaking tackles, and the fact that he's only broken 3 tackles this year is embarrassing for him and everybody that loves Saquon Barkley. He breaks a tackle every 38 carries. Just think about that in your mind, Jeremy. Think about it. Every 38 carries you break, 1 tackle. But I do want to give him some credit because he has 22 rushes for first downs, and I like that. But Saquon Barkley has to be much better. He's been good in the receiving game, 37 grabs for 250 yards, 6.7 yards per catch. He also has 2 receiving touchdowns, and I like how he's been using the passing game, but he needs to be more involved. In his rookie year, he had over 90 grabs. Feed him the ball all day. It doesn't just have to be runs up the middle where he is a magnet to the back of offensive linemen's back. But let me know, what should the Giants do with Saquon Barkley? If you trade him, you save $7.2 million in cap space. I'm not sure what you could get for him in a trade. Maybe a day 2 pick, maybe a day 3 pick. I doubt you get a first-round pick. I know you're not going to get a first-round pick. But maybe you can get a desperate team like the Bills that need a running back to trade for a first-round pick. But let me know, what should the Giants do with Saquon Barkley? Type T for trade, type K for keep, or type C for cut. And guys, if you're enjoying this video and if you're still watching it, that means you're a real one. So go down and hit that big red button. The analytics say not everybody finishes these videos, and if you are, that means you either enjoy these videos, maybe you like me a little bit, or you just love the New York Giants like I do. So if you bleed New York Giants blue, go down and hit that big red button right now because we are a channel that does nothing but besides cover the Giants. So if that sounds good to you, go down and hit the big red button.